Josh here from the J side. I cut ahead. I wasn't gonna do that. So today I'm gonna turn the heat off. Oh, can you hear me now? Yeah. So today we're gonna start this all off with a what's in the box, and then we're gonna zigzag around because we haven't done a video in a while, and it's just time for one. Pretty much, yeah. So what we need is a knife. Sorry for not being prepared. Not a knife, but it'll work. So I have this box here, ready? We're gonna start with this box. Don't mind anything yet back there. We'll get to it. I got this box from Jegs in the mail today, a day early, which is pretty awesome. What it is? Oh, it's a box in a box. What is that all about? They can't fit a catalog in there. Ooh, it's painted. Yeah, I didn't know it was painted, by the way. What could that be? Lay it out. I can't believe they're painted. I really thought. What kind of crap is that? It's flammable, whatever it is. There's two. There's two of them. There's a box full of plates. Some little safety straps. And, are you ready? Another box. More stuff. In a box. We had a technical difficulty. We're back in business though. So we have a box in a box with a ridiculous amount of hardware. Holy cow. Does anybody want to guess what I bought? They're ladder bars, folks. The original plan was to take the old wishbone slash trailing arms, if I can get them out. These guys. Now, I cut them in half and cleaned all the rust that was jiggling around, and I welded the whole bottoms. And the original idea was to put these in there and then put a brace across the top, and then I got to the last minute and I said, you know what, I'm spending too much time on this, so I bought the easiest, sketchiest thing to do would be double adjustable ladder bars. These actually have an adjuster on both ends so that I can adjust the pinion when I'm done. That's that thing. The second thing I bought today, I got from Johnny Law Custom something. And what it is these little guys. It's a wishbone splitting kit, which is just a tie rod and this little bung. And you basically cut off the front wishbones, which are these guys. You cut that here. Then you weld that piece in there, and then you can basically eliminate that thing. If you don't know what the wishbone is, it's sketchy and it won't work with the V8. So, that's today's what's in the box. We jumped ahead, like I said, so let's go backwards to another video. Hey YouTube, Josh here for another episode of What's in the Box. Sorry, I just got home. And I had a box on the front porch, which is now right here. Ready? I can tell you it's long. Reference, right? It's thin. It's really heavy. I'm cutting it with a knife from Harbor Freight for 30 cents or something like that. I'm excited. I know what this is, because I just ordered it. It looks less impressive than I thought it was going to, but we are so close. Now, you know what we're working on this lately. We're working on the Rooster, the 1930 Ford Model A Coupe. What we have here this is a frame boxing kit. What this is all the little pieces of frame plates with these little tabs, and I basically am going to set this on the frame, clamp it in place, and then weld it to basically make my currently C-shaped frame a box. Right? How cool is that? Like all crazy pieces for the front. I got tapered rears. I'm excited. I can't wait to get welding on this thing. It's gonna be great. Well, that's it for today. What's in the box? Oh, I didn't even get to what it was about. Doesn't say anything came from China. But what it is basically, I bought on eBay. I was gonna go and order just the square tubing and make my own frame, but I like the nostalgia of the original frame. I just needed to handle a V8. So after some research of thinking about, like, do you buy the one with the pretty holes in it or the ones that are dimpled? And I said, you know what, I'm gonna buy the cheapest ones I can get, because they're gonna get cut up anyway and moved later. So I paid, I think, maybe 130 bucks delivered. That's not bad. I could have bought all the steel from a shop. It's only like 1/8 inch, I think. And then I would have had to cut every piece of it, and it would have been a pain in the butt. And I don't want to. I just want to bolt it on or clamp it on and weld it. That's it. What's in the box for the Rooster? Frame boxing plates. Till next time, folks. Yep, that's how cold it is out here today. Western New York, it is January 17th, and we haven't done a video in like 17 days. And I figured today's a good day to do it. So let's talk about something. The Rooster. What have we done since January 1st? Well, I can tell you the motor's gone. Sold it to a gentleman out in Canada. There's a whole story in that, but it's gone. I made a few bucks. I was able to order the frame boxing plates off of eBay for the same price I sold the motor for, with a little bit money extra for other stuff. The gas tank is gone. On the floor, I think what I'm going to do is cut out the bottom of the gas tank, because I need the top. That's the cowl. That's the part that sits in front of the windshield up there. And I need the dash, which is really weird. The dash is the gas tank. Like, that's where the speedometer went, right there. So I'm going to cut that out, maybe move it closer to me while I'm driving. And I'm going to hollow out the inside of the gas tank, and then probably stash all my electrical up in there, which is pretty cool. So that's another project. But today what we had to do is get the body off the frame, so that basically my hopes are to lift this thing up, wheel the chassis out, so that I can get some welding done and some cutting off brackets, plug weld all these holes for stuff I don't need. I've got to do some work on the aprons. Not necessary, but if they're going to be off, now's a good time to do it. And I think I'm going to come up with new body mounts. There was about 30 bolts that sandwich this and this to that, which is just silly. I think we could do it with like 6 bolts, just bigger bolts welded to the inside of the frame before I box it. Yeah, that's about where we're at. It's so cold. I think the high today was like 15. So I'm done for the day. Here's our update halfway through the month on the 666 coupe, or the rooster coupe, whatever you want to call it. That's it. Let's keep it moving. Till next time, J-Side. Okay, so that's got us caught up to the mid of January. We are now in like the middle of February. As you saw in the video, we pulled the cowl out. We sold the motor, that guy. Well, first we pulled that, obviously. There's some video. The little guy gave me a hand. We like stripped everything down, and then another what's in the box. That's been done. On top of the frame plating that you just watched, that kit is now installed everywhere. I ran into an issue where the front of the frame was actually bent. We were out almost an inch from corner to corner from the front cross member forward, and then I decided before I boxed it that I was going to straighten it, so I did this little contraction there, like a little bit of come-alongs and some heat, and was able to pull it right back to where it was within like, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch. But the problem I ran into was on the driver's side of the frame, it had already been crunched, like who knows when, and somebody had cut and welded in a new front left side frame rail. They did a really bad job, and there's a small dip in the frame, but I don't care because we need to put this car together. So that's just where it is. The car is square now, level and flat, and all the braces are in. Stole the rear end out of the Murderino because it is officially going to be partsed out for another project. There's a picture of the car as I went to go pull the rear end out. That picture there, I cut all the brackets off the rear, polished it all down, and then I actually made these little brackets. We call it the whale bracket because that's what it looks like. This piece with the big hole is going to mount over the axle, and then the other end, that little guy, is going to have a round piece of bar stock that B-side's going to TIG weld to it, and then that is going to mount to my spring. And the reason why I bring all this up is because we're changing it a little bit. In order to lower the car, we could cut the cross member out, this piece, and move it, right, taller, so we can get the spring lower. But I decided to go with a newer style idea. I made that guy. Essentially, you know what? Let's look at some pictures. First, I made one out of cardboard. Mocked it all up, cut all the pieces out, tack welded all the pieces, and then took it off, finish welded all the pieces. Basically what it's going to do is mount up here in this position. Instead of the spring mounting inside of here, I'm now able to mount the rear spring behind it. So by doing so, this piece now sits behind the axle. I can lower the spring mount, which is normally on top of the axle. I can mount behind it, which drops the car another 3 inches, 3.5 inches with that mount before I even touch the springs. So we've got the car lowered 3 inches in the rear with the exact same spring pack, which is easy to replace. And then when we reverse the eyes, that guy, instead of going like this, it'll go under. That'll lower it another inch or so, and then I'm gonna pull some leaves and we'll do some other stuff. Really easy way without permanently cutting and measuring and doing stuff to raise the rear of the frame up is just to make this mount. So I've got to drill some holes. That'll be done. The brackets are done. Just got to get these over to Ben so he can weld them. Then I can mock them up on the rear end, get this guy back on the floor, suspension back under it, and then you can see how we did that. We pulled the drivetrain out of the horse right there. You can see some clips there. That's going in the rooster. Weird that farm animals are involved with everything. I don't know why, but that's a 351 Windsor. If you haven't watched the videos, go back in time and watch the earlier 30-day build of the Murderino. And that's the motor training that's going to go in here for now. There's going to be a lot of work to do to get it to fit, but by the pictures there, you can see that it actually isn't horrible. If I can mount that front pulley right over top of where the radiator was, and the angles match up and look okay, I don't got to cut the firewall out too much, just enough for the tunnel. And then I can still change spark plugs without going in the car to do so. So that's pretty cool. And I don't lose any foot room. I'm probably forgetting a lot of things here. I think that's it. I don't know. Oh, we went to see Ginger, B-side. That's the Falcon in its current state, but the real news is how pretty is that? That's the motor that he's got pretty much ready to fire. Can't wait to see it. It's going to be great. Yeah, I think that was it. I did buy that thing. That's a steering column out of a 1962 Ford Falcon. That's going to get cut up and modified to fit in here, hopefully. I'm going to do that pretty soon. And yeah, we're going to end this video this week with a clip of the Red Rocket just idling in the garage. So until next time, folks, Josh from the J side and the Roosters, it's kind of apart. We got it on the floor. Me and Ginger picked it up ourselves. By the way, before I go to that, I bought these little $10 casters. These little furniture movers from Harbor Freight for like $10. They work great to wheel the car around. It was super cheap, and they're wide, and they fit on the cross members, and no problems. Who would have thought? That's it, folks.